Oh, this stuff smells great. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's time. This whole video is about mixing fruits. Two of my favorite wines. We got strawberry and we got banana. We're gonna mix these two to make a fantastic wine and show you about mixing fruits to make mixed fruit wine. Click that like and subscribe button and let's just get right into this.
You can outrun the devil, but you ain't gonna outrun me. You ain't gonna outrun me.
Oh, and here's all our ingredients, from sugar to strawberries to bananas. This is gonna be a great wine. Oh, and look at this. Is this the perfect day to make wine? It's snowing outside. It doesn't get any better than this. Let's just get this started. Now, these are two fantastic wines, banana in itself and strawberry, but there's alternatives. We want to try some different stuff on this channel and show you how to do it. We're going to make a strawberry banana wine, and let me tell you, it's going to taste like a strawberry cream because the bananas add a cream flavor to the strawberries. So we're going to call this strawberry cream wine. I can't wait for you to try this, and I can't wait to taste it. Now, how much fruit do we need for this 5 gallons of wine? You need 3 to 4 pounds per gallon. So that is what? 4 times 5, 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds of fruit. I got half banana and half strawberry. Now, a hint, when you start making wine, your friends are gonna come out of the woodwork because this is a fantastic wine. I know I'm gonna get a lot of requests for it. That's why I'm doing a 5 gallon batch. If you don't wanna do that much, I got a 3 gallon and a 1 gallon batch recipe linked below. First thing we wanna do is sanitize. I'm not gonna go into much detail of that because I got a whole video on it. Just make sure you know you gotta sanitize in this hobby. All right, here we go. We gotta mix sanitizer up. So again, I got a whole video on this, but make sure you're sanitizing. If you're gonna fail in this hobby, it's because you didn't sanitize properly. Now, you're also gonna need some additives to make this wine. You're gonna need equipment. I got links to all this stuff in the description. So if you need any of it, look in the description. It's all there. We're gonna show you how to use each one of these as we go. Now, you all know you need sugar to make wine. You need about 2 pounds per gallon. So I got a 10 gallon bag here. I'm gonna use 10 pounds of sugar for this 5 gallon batch, 2 pounds per gallon. And if you stay in the winemaking hobby, you know you're gonna need to stock up on this. I buy this stuff in bulk. All right, it's time to get our frozen strawberries. Remember, I said sanitize everything, which includes your bowls that we're gonna put this fruit in. So there we go. Now I got my strawberries here, and we're just gonna cut them open. I love using frozen strawberries. I think it makes some of the best wine. You can use fresh, but remember, these are frozen in the fields. You can't get fresher than that. Now, for my 5 gallon batch, I'm using 9 pounds of strawberries. Remember I said you need 3 to 4 pounds of fruit per every gallon. So I'm using 9 pounds of bananas and 9 pounds of frozen strawberries. Now, I always get questions on this channel about this. Now, first, we're getting our sugar in here. We got that 10 pounds of sugar, and we just want to make a simple syrup out of this. But what people ask is, how much water do I mix in with this? This is 1 gallon. But again, it's not important at this point because we just want to get this sugar dissolved. We will dial in the water when we start checking for ABV. So there we go. I'm just covering that sugar. We'll get the heat on and stir this until it's crystal clear. But don't burn your sugar. When it turns crystal clear, shut off the heat and you're done. Now, this is what I wanted to show you here. You can see how clear it's getting. You can see the bottom of the pan and it's just starting to bubble around the edges. You don't want to boil it at this point. So when it starts to clear like this, just shut off the heat and let it cool to room temperature. I hope that clarified a little bit as far as the water that you put in. It's not an exact measurement at this point. All right, it's time to get our bananas sliced up. Now remember, you want to see yellow. You want to see really ripe bananas to make good wine. So these are like perfect right now. So what I'm going to do is we'll just start here by doing one of these. We're just going to chop this end off and also chop this end off. And you've seen me make banana wine. It's the same process that we're going to do. We're slicing these up, skin on, and this is what we want to do. Remember to watch all my videos because this is my wife's favorite wine. Let's get all these sliced up. All right, we got our fruit prepared, and if you could smell it, it smells like a strawberry banana daiquiri. Oh, it smells incredible. I can't wait till this wine is done, but now it's time to put all this together and get everything in our fermentation bucket and get this wine fermenting. And make sure you watch some of our other videos because we show you how to just make banana. And we got a favorite video over there. I know if you've been watching my channel, you all know my favorite, but this is a close second. And this is a second. I can't wait to put them together. All right, it's time to get our additives in here. I got a sanitized bucket, and I like to put my additives at the bottom. A lot of you have given me suggestions of why I shouldn't be doing that. But the reason I do it is if I put it on top of the fruit and I mess up, I just ruined all the fruit. So I put it in here. I'd rather mess it up in here and have to start over than to have it already put in here, just messed up. What we're gonna do is we're gonna start with our Camden tablets. You gotta put one of these for every gallon of wine. So I'm doing a 5-gallon batch. We're gonna do 5 Camden tablets. And the best way to do it is between 2 sanitized spoons. I had these in the sanitizer soaking. All right, there's our 5 Camden tablets. The next additive I want to put in is acid blend. We want a 1/2 teaspoon for every gallon. So I got a 1/2 teaspoon. I'm going to put 5 of these in. I got descriptions of every one of these additives and what they do. So if you're curious what they're doing, watch that video. The next ingredient that is a must in my opinion is yeast nutrient. It's going to kickstart that yeast 24 hours from now. 5 1/2 teaspoons. Another one helps clarify your wine, pectic enzyme, 5 of these. And lastly, wine tannin. If you're making a grape wine, you might not need this because grapes got a lot of tannins. But I'm not, so I'm putting 5 of these in. There we go, that's it for the additives. All right, the next thing you need is a mesh bag. This is a must. Don't miss the mesh bag if you're making wine from fruit. So I just got it out of the sanitizer. We're gonna put it over the bucket like this, and we're gonna get our fruit in here. Let's get the fruit. Here's the bananas. We're just gonna put these in here and make sure you're holding your mesh bag or it might fall down in, but I'm a professional. I've got this down by now. Now we gotta get the strawberries. So now, my strawberries are a little bit frozen yet, but don't be afraid to break these up a little bit. We wanna release some of the juice and break these up just into smaller pieces. There we go. Now, we're not trying to pulverize. Do not pulverize your fruit because you're just gonna be a hard time getting all that pulp out as you rack it. So there we go. We got all our fruit in here. Now all we wanna do is cinch this thing up, but I don't think this one's got the other string. So what I like to do is you gather it and we'll twist this and I'll put a twist tie on here. I always do it for precaution anyway, just because I don't want anything to get out of this bag. So there, sanitized twist tie. Make sure you have these on hand because they work fantastic for this hobby. Now, do you remember all the sugar water we got here? Now's the time to add it once it's cooled to room temperature. So, here we go. In goes the sugar water. That'll help Wasn't quite room temperature, but that's fine. It'll help melt them strawberries for sure. This is where I had the strawberries on. Put some water in there to get some of that other strawberry juice. But now's when you want to slowly add water and keep testing your ABV. I know it's probably going to come up to about here for a 5-gallon batch of wine. And that looks pretty good. I'm going to just show you because you don't want to overshoot your ABV at this point. So let's stop, get my hydrometer and test it. Oh yeah, don't forget. Remember we put those additives at the bottom. Now's the time where you want to just stir them in a little bit and get this soaked down. And then we'll check the ABV. So that's what I'm going to do. Stir this just for a little. We're making wine, strawberry banana, homemade wine. Man, if you could smell this, it smells incredible right now. Now, here's the hydrometer. The easiest way in winemaking is to look at your potential alcohol side. You can see it there. There's 10 and there's 15. I want to get mine between 12 and 15. A lot of people will go down to 8 or 10, but I like a little bit higher, so 12 to 15 is what I'll shoot for. And we'll just pull this bag over and float it and see where we're at. I know we got a lot more water to add, and it's very high right now, but I'll get a close-up of this. We're at about 18%, not near where I want to be, so we'll add a little water at a time and keep checking this. All right, here we go. We're just gonna add more water. I'm gonna put about half of where I think it's gonna go, and then we'll test it. And make sure you're stirring this each time when you're adding water, because you don't wanna just check the top part of it. Stir it again, get it mixed in. Got water especially that you just put up at the top. And then we'll float this hydrometer again and see where we're at now. So that's about 15%. We're getting closer. Like I said, it's probably going to come up here to where I want it, so I'll just add more water. All right, here we go, more water. Remember we were mixing that sugar with water on the stove? This is why that didn't matter, because we're dialing it in. This is the easiest way to do it. It's exactly 12%. That's perfect for me for a wine, so I'm going to stop. All right, that was a false reading, because I just stirred this up a little bit more. Remember, I said about the water sitting on top, or you got to make sure it's not sitting in on the bag somewhere. So that's why you just got to double and triple check. But it's still 15 to 16%. So I know I need to add water. I'm just going to fill it to right about to this edge here, because that's always where a 5-gallon batch comes out for me. I'm glad I double checked that. Again, don't rush the hobby. It's okay oxygen's getting in at this point. It's later down in the process. We got to eliminate that. So here's my additional water. We'll take it up to that seam there and I'll test it. I'm pretty sure that's close to where I want it to be. There we go. Make sure the bag's not under it. Get to my potential side here, because you want to make sure you're looking at the right side. 11, 12, we're at 13%. I know that's perfect. I'll show you here, but now it's time to finish it, finally. So that's it. We just made strawberry banana wine, but we ain't done yet. We got to get the lid on here, always sanitized. So I'm going to sanitize the underside of my lid here. Do the top too. And what we're going to do, don't put the yeast in yet. We got to wait 24 hours or that Camden tablet will kill your yeast. So there we go. We got our sanitized lid. We're going to put this on here. Where's my airlock? Here's my airlock. I like this kind. Again, I got links to all this stuff in the description. Just make sure you're filling it at the proper level, which is about in the middle. So let me fill that. We'll get that on. There we go. You can see it's about halfway right there. That's what you want. Get this cap on, and we're going to put the airlock in. And what we're going to do next is the yeast, but we gotta wait 24 hours. Let's just fast forward 24. All right, it's been exactly 24 hours, and now it's time to get our yeast in. Remember, we had those Camden tablets in there. That's supposed to kill that wild yeast. And then this, the Red Star, is the only yeast I use in winemaking. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna open this up, stir it a little bit, And then we're gonna add our yeast. So here we go. Oh my God. You just smelled the strawberries. I could drink it right now. All right, I just sanitized my paddle here. And what we're gonna do is just give this a stir because we wanna make sure, again, our additives are mixed in. And remember, what we're showing you in this video is how to make wine mixing fruits. In this case, banana and strawberry. This is probably gonna be the best wine we ever made on this channel. You gotta try this. So now all we're gonna do is we're going to open this Red Star yeast and we're just gonna sprinkle this on the top. There is no need to stir this in. Let me get a better angle here. As I got my yeast pack open right here, we're just gonna sprinkle this wherever I see a little juice. Again, no need to stir this at this point. And 1 pack is good for a 5-gallon batch. You could use half of this for, a 3-gallon batch and then use the other half. But I'm just gonna use the whole pack in this case. And what we're gonna do is let it go. We'll get the lid back on and we'll be back in 24 hours and show you. We're gonna see this bubbler probably start to bubble in 24 hours. All right, look at the bubbler. It's bubbling and we didn't even stir this yet. But remember, we put that yeast in 24 hours ago. We wanna open this up. And we're going to let oxygen in here. We're going to let oxygen in and stir this for the next 5 to 7 days because you need to get oxygen to keep that yeast blooming and healthy. Watch my oxygen video. I go into great detail. But for now, let's open this up and see what it looks like. Oh my God, it smells crazy good. Do you see all the yeast on top here? Now that's what we're gonna get stirred in. All right, there's that yeast just laying on this bag. But now we wanna get this submerged. We wanna get that yeast. You can see we're starting to get foaming. That's what you want. This thing in the next couple days will start to get really foamy. So I'm not gonna bore you with this, but I will show you the next couple days and fast forward some of this. And then in part 2, we're gonna finish this up and taste it and bottle it. It's gonna be great.